Alright, so it's been a month since I've really done anything. So I'm going to load up my tutorial world for this. And we're going to revisit the skill steal, or steal skill. If I can talk right today. Basically what's going on is King Traven asked, can you make it a spam move? Because I'm trying to make it so that a player can use it constantly, but have to lose 50% of their HP on each use. But yeah, that's something that we can easily do. So King Traven, this video is for you. My tutorial world is basically just that. It is the absolute bare minimum that you get when you start up RPG Maker. Few changes based on things I've done. So everything's going to be rebuilt from scratch. We're going to utilize 2 skills, 1 variable, and a common event. And once more, just like the original steal skill, all the nitty-gritty is going to be right here in the troops page. So, let's go ahead and get started. We'll go ahead, we'll make our common event. Let's keep it called steal. More than likely, the variables and switch names that I used earlier to play around with this for you are still there. Which they are. So I'm just going to get rid of most of these real quick. Oh, come on. Work with me, controller. Variable. There we go. My variables. Go remove you. And yeah, you I'm going to keep as steal. Random 0 to 3. Now, I did a lot of playing around based on if only one character was going to steal or if multiple characters were going to steal. So, yeah, I do need to switch. Probably shouldn't have removed that name, but that's alright. Alright. Alright, and that should do that. Basically just show you what it is. Common event name steal. Control variable called steal from 0 to 3 random. Then a control switch 1 also called steal on. We're going to create 2 skills real quick. This one I'm just going to call steal damage. It will affect the user I'm just going to switch that to never. And this is not something that will be assigned to a character or anything. Going to reduce the variance. And the damage will always be my current HP divided by 2. Because we're cutting it in half each time, we're just going to divide it by 2. And that's it. We're not doing anything more with that skill. Alright, now for the steel skill again. We're going to run away. This way they have it. Special, occasion, battle menu. We'll just say all enemies. Tries to steal. For description. It will load up the common event steal. Alright. Now for the nitty-gritty. Just for the sake of argument, I've already got the bats set up to literally be one-hit kills. And they're not going to do anything whatsoever, which will make this test easier. So whenever alright, condition steal on, span moment. So if you recall, what's going to happen, we're going to use steal. It's going to trigger that common event. The common event is going to give us a random number between 0 and 3, and we'll turn that switch on. And once it turns that switch on, it will do this. Alright, and this is basically going to be simple conditional branch. I'm going to make this greater than or equal to 2. So on a 2 or a 3, show text, you stole a potion. Transparent top, because I think it looks good that way. Change items. Potion increased by 1. And now for the fun part. We are going to force an action. Since Harold is going to be the one stealing, it will be him. Steal damage. And we'll just say random. Alright, so we're now going to force Harold to use steal damage. And then at the very end, we are going to turn off our steal switch. That way we're not stuck in a constant repetitive loop of this battle event page repeating constantly. The last thing to do is we got to make sure Harold here will get steal. So make it level 1. Yep, we made it special. And let's make sure he's able to use special skills. Alright, so if everything is set up right, Harold will now get steal, which will trigger the common event steal. That will give us a random number between 0 and 3. Turn that switch on, which activates all this. Oh, forgot to finish rounding this out. No problem, real quick. Edit. So now if we get a 1, we're going to make it magic water instead. Good thing I double checked everything. Full copy and paste on the if, because if you do that, you will copy from here all the way down to that end. Alright, and make this a 0. So if we get a 0, you stole nothing. Cut. Alright, so it's now set up to where no matter what happens, on a 2 or 3, we get a potion, but we take damage. We get a 1, we get magic water, but we take damage. We get a 0, we get nothing but damage. Switch is off, so we can do it repeatedly. And this should already be set up for only meeting that one troop constantly. Alright, now watch, I screwed up somewhere. I mean, I only spent like the last 2.5 hours playing around. So there it is. Steel. It's got 450 HP. Hero tries to steal, no effect. Solar potion. And I just took 50% damage. Solar potion. I just took damage again. And there's those potions being added in. So what's going to end up happening here is, yes, we will constantly be able to steal as much as we want. He will constantly take 50% damage, but once he gets down to 1 HP, he will stop taking damage altogether. No damage. And that's because under the steel damage skill, we set it to be current HP. If you want to be evil, change that to my max HP. Because then he'll only be able to steal twice, and then he'll die. But that's not really spamming, is it? But that's basically it in a nutshell. Change this back real quick. Now, like I said earlier, I was also playing around with a few other things. What if everybody in our party had the ability to steal? Hey, that sounds great and wonderful, right? So let's go ahead and put that in. Everybody steal. Everybody can steal. We're all thieves here. Alright, so everybody can steal now, right? And we've already established that it reduces the character's HP by half. So we should be good, right? Poor Harold. We just don't like you. And that was the reason that happened is because it was the exact same skill. That was utilizing all of this. Easiest way I found to correct that. Ah! Yes, discard changes. Because I screwed up first. Go make other steal skills. Which brings up, which will call on different common events. To make it simple on you, while you're doing all this, yes, cancel because I want to go here. Go ahead, add a special note. Steal 1. Steal 2. Because whatever change you make will show up there. So that will make it a little easier to tell them apart. And when you're all done with it, you can easily change the name back. Alright, so let's go ahead. Make sure everybody is getting the appropriate steal skill. You are getting steal 3. And you are getting steal 4. Back under common events. We'll go ahead. Change these names to match the skill. And all we're really going to do is change this switch. And that's it for common events. Then here, we're just going to simply copy it over, change this condition, turn off the second steel switch, rinse and repeat. To do that real quick. And there's one more thing that we're going to do. We could probably do this at the exact same time, so let's go ahead and knock it out. We're going to change this force action. Therese gets steel 2, or number 2. So we want to make sure she's the one that's going to take the damage. And likewise, with the third steel skill, Marcia is going to be the one taking the damage. And then finally, steel number 4. And this one belongs to Lucius. Alright, so 4 off. When 4 is on, all that says Lucius. Steel 3 on. Should be Marcia, Marcia. 3 off. Steel 2, Therese. Steel 2 off. Alright. And we don't need to change the variable for each of these, because we can use the same one repeatedly. Alright, just to make sure we're all set. Steel 1, Steel 2, Steel 3, Steel 4. Lucius. Oh, I screwed up on him. Why did that not work? Why did that not work? I changed everything over, didn't I? Oh, you know why it didn't work? Right there. Forgot to change the common event. Now it'll work. Harold took damage. Therese took damage. Lucius took damage. Marcia took damage. And that's basically it for making your steal skill cause damage to the user. And what to do if you're going to have multiple characters be able to steal. Each one of them has to have their own steal skill. Make sure it references the right event. And then make sure you've got these pages set up right. So I am going to show you one more thing. And this was something I had to think about. Because you said, you know what, stealing causing damage. Well, you know, I remember something like that from Final Fantasy IV. I don't know if you've played it. But in that one, Edge is capable of stealing items, but every now and then, the enemy will cause damage to him. So, how would we do something like that? Well, one more variable, and we'll just call this damage. And we'll toss a question mark because we don't know if it'll cause damage. And we'll just have it give us a 1 or a 0. Alright, so Harold, our hero, is the only one with steal now. Steal, we'll call that common event steal. In the common event, it'll give us 2 numbers altogether. The first one, a random number between 0 and 3. The second one, a random number between 0 and 1. And it'll turn its own switch on. Back to troops, right here. And that one addition that we're going to make, I've been putting it here, but I kind of wonder about something real quick. If we could just put it at the end. So whenever we get a 0 for that, copy, paste. Alright, so first it'll go through all the steals, determine what we get, and then if everything works right, it'll determine whether or not we take damage. And just to make it a little easier on us, I'm going to make Harold the only party member. So we stole nothing, stole a potion, and we just took damage. Stole nothing, stole a potion, potion, damage again. So the potion took damage. Stole the potion. So this is another way you could go ahead and spam it. We're still taking half HP damage, but it's random as to when we do it. It's going at half the time. Of course, we can always buff that up. Let's say we want it to happen 80% of the time. So I'm going to go from 0 to 4. Go back under troops. Go down to the very end, and I'm going to change this one to less than 4. So 80% of the time we should be taking damage. So there we go. And if you want to toss in a reason to the players as to why that's going on, you can do that. Put it right here. New, show message. The enemy caught you trying to steal. And I'm going to change this real quick. So now it's going to happen 60% of the time. I stole magic water. They caught me trying to steal. I'm taking damage. Stole nothing, but they caught me. Still nothing, but they didn't catch me that time. So, there you go, King Trayvon. A few things that I worked on a couple hours this morning on for you. In a nutshell, it was our steel skill to start it off, to reference that common event. A second skill, which no one will ever learn. Just wanted to make sure that the scope is on the user, aka who it's going to target, and that the damage is set up to where it'll be cut in half each time. Then once more, the common event. If you don't want to do the whole, well, is it a random chance of them taking damage? You can just remove this. Like so. But I kind of like the random aspect of it. In fact, I may actually utilize it now. So thank you for that. And then back under troops. So it's everything covered in the last one. Except this force action is what's going to be important here. You got to have that force action and the damaging skill to really bring into effect as to what you're wanting. I hope this helps you out. Any questions, definitely hit me up. And thank you for this brilliant idea, which I am going to keep. Alright. Till next time, you guys have a good day. Later.